Imagine this. 250 miles above us, orbiting the planet at more than 17,400 miles per hour, is the most complex laboratory humanity has ever built, the International Space Station. Inside, an elite crew conducts experiments that seem straight out of science fiction. But right now, at this very moment, a new type of mind is aboard. It's not human. It doesn't breathe, doesn't sleep, and its brain isn't made of neurons, but of silicon and algorithms. And what if I told you that, far from the public eye, a revolutionary test is taking place? An artificial intelligence, operating completely independently, is learning, diagnosing, and solving problems in real time. This isn't just another experiment, it's the silent dress rehearsal for our species' greatest adventure, the colonization of other worlds. This is the story of the AI that could be the key to our survival on the Moon and, eventually, on Mars. A technology that needs to work flawlessly when help from Earth is months away, and the smallest error means the end of everything. To understand why this AI is so essential, we first need to understand the biggest obstacle to becoming an interplanetary species. And no, it's not rocket power or how to build a base. It's something much more fundamental, a law of the universe that no technology can break: the speed of light. When the Apollo astronauts were on the Moon, a radio message took about 1.3 seconds to reach Earth. A conversation, with a small delay, was totally possible. But Mars? Mars is a completely different animal. Depending on where the planets are in their orbits, a radio signal from Mars can take 4 to 24 minutes to get here. That means, at best, 8 minutes round trip for a question and answer. At worst, almost 50 minutes of agonizing silence. Now, imagine a crisis on a Martian base. A sensor beeps, sudden pressure drop in Module B, oxygen leak. The crew sends an urgent message to Houston. We have an emergency, pressure drop, awaiting instructions. This message travels through the vacuum of space for, let's say, 20 minutes. In Houston, the world's brightest engineers panic, analyze the data, consult manuals and simulations. In 5 minutes, they have a plan. The response travels back to Mars. Another 20 minutes. In total, 45 minutes have passed. In 45 minutes, a small leak becomes catastrophic decompression. A life support system fails completely. A life is lost. This scenario, already called minutes of terror in rover landings, would be the constant reality for colonists. All space exploration to date has been built on constant support from Earth. Hundreds of specialists monitoring every heartbeat, every sensor. The astronauts are the tip of the spear, but the entire spear is controlled from Houston. For Mars, this model doesn't work. It's a recipe for disaster. You can't send a team to another planet and ask them to wait half an hour for help when the fire alarm goes off. We can't depend on a tour guide who's on the other side of the solar system. Humanity on Mars needs to be autonomous, and to be autonomous, it needs a new kind of partner. The problem goes far beyond emergencies. Dependence on Earth creates a system that is inefficient, psychologically exhausting, and that, ultimately, limits our ability to explore. Think about the mental load of an astronaut on Mars. They need to be scientists, engineers, doctors, and geologists, all at the same time. But it's impossible to be an expert in everything. What happens when the DNA sequencer gives an error that's not in the manual? Or when the water recycling system shows a chemical anomaly never seen before? Today, on the ISS, the answer is easy. Houston, we have a problem. And the solution comes detailed. On Mars, that answer might come too late. This constant dependence creates a huge psychological burden. The isolation of a long mission is already quite a challenge. Now, add the feeling of being on a tightrope over a 140 million-mile abyss, where any misstep can only be corrected by a voice you'll hear half an hour later. Communication with family, of vital support would become an exercise in frustration, with conversations that look more like exchanging letters than dialogues. The solutions we use today simply don't work for Mars. Pre-programmed automation? Great for repetitive tasks, but useless when the unexpected happens. A robot can turn on the greenhouse lights, but won't know what to do if an unknown pest attacks the plants. Fill the base's servers with all the world's manuals? Good idea, but how will an astronaut, in the middle of a crisis, find the right information on page 352 of document 7.34b? It's a cruel paradox. We send humans to space for their unique ability to adapt and improvise. But at the same time, we chain them to a decision-making process that's millions of miles away, suffocating precisely the autonomy that makes them so valuable. The truth is that with our current model, a colony on Mars would be just an outpost, incredibly expensive and fragile, whose inhabitants would spend more time waiting for emails than making discoveries. For Mars to be more than a flag and footprints, to become a home, we need to cut the umbilical cord. We need a local mind, a brain at the base. And that's exactly what's being created right now in the silence of Earth's orbit. The solution to Martian distance tyranny is being tested on a microwave-sized supercomputer aboard the International Space Station. Its name is HPE Spaceborne Computer-2, and it's home to one of the most advanced AIs ever made, an adapted version of Meta's open-source Llama model. The project, nicknamed Space Llama, is a collaboration between giants like Meta itself, Booz Allen, HPE, and NVIDIA. What makes Space Llama so revolutionary isn't just its power. It's a key detail. It operates completely offline. It doesn't need internet or a connection to Earth to think. All of its knowledge and analytical capacity is right there, on the station itself. This breaks the chains of communication delay. Suddenly, tasks that would take hours of data exchange with Earth can be solved in seconds. But what exactly does this AI do? Calling it an assistant is an understatement. Think of it as an engineer, a data scientist, and a superhuman librarian, all in one. Space Llama is a multimodal AI, which means it understands text, images, and audio simultaneously. Imagine an astronaut looking at a panel with a warning light they've never seen. Instead of searching through a 2,000-page PDF, they can simply take a photo and ask, with their voice, "What is this?" The AI not only recognizes the component from the image, but cross-references it with real-time sensor data, consults all the technical manuals in its memory, and, in seconds, responds. This is a voltage fluctuation alarm on solar panel regulator 3. The likely cause is a failure in capacitor C7. Here's the step-by-step replacement procedure, with a diagram. This isn't fiction. It's the exact goal of the test happening now. Reduce dependence on Earth, allowing astronauts to solve problems with a speed and autonomy they've never had before. This idea didn't come out of nowhere. It comes from years of experiments. One of the pioneers is CIMON, a floating spherical robot that has acted as a companion to astronauts since 2018. Developed by Airbus and IBM, CIMON responds to voice commands, displays instructions, and can even play an astronaut's favorite music to relieve stress. With its second generation, CIMON 2, it even learned to analyze the crew's emotional state and react with empathy, becoming almost a conversation partner. If CIMON is the friendly face of AI in space, Space Llama is the analytical and deep brain. Together, they form the complete vision of what an AI co-pilot can be. While one improves interaction and well-being, the other ensures that the entire planetary base doesn't collapse. The International Space Station is the perfect testing ground. It's an isolated, high-risk, and complex environment. Every success of Space Llama up there is proof that it can work on the Moon and Mars. It's literally the dress rehearsal for our survival on another world. Let's take a leap in time. Imagine the year 2050. We're at Ares Prime, a base on Mars. Help from Earth is at least 20 minutes away. But here, nobody panics about it. It's just a small inconvenience for video calls with family. The reason? The entire base is managed by a direct descendant of that AI from the ISS. Let's call it RC, the Autonomous Colony Regulator. Your day at Ares Prime doesn't start with an alarm, but with a gentle report from ARC on your tablet. Good morning. Energy production is at 102%. The hydroponic greenhouse reports a 3% increase in potato growth. Nutrients were automatically adjusted during the night. No equipment anomalies. Rover Curiosity-2 is 47 miles away, analyzing an interesting rock. It recommends sending a team to collect samples. In the past, space agriculture was a manual and meticulous task. Now, ARC takes care of everything. Sensors monitor each plant's health, and the AI diagnoses diseases before any signs appear, adjusting air and nutrients with surgical precision. This frees botanists to focus on real research, like adapting Earth plants to Martian soil. While you have your coffee, a geologist is on a virtual field mission. They're not piloting the rover. Curiosity-2 moves by itself, using a navigation system that thinks while it drives. But the AI aboard is much more advanced. It analyzes rock chemistry in real time, builds 3D maps, and decides on its own which targets deserve more attention, optimizing time. The human geologist isn't a driver, they're a strategist who validates the most promising discoveries the AI presents to them. Suddenly, a yellow alert flashes on your display. It's not a strident alarm, but a calm notification from RC. Pressure fluctuation detected in external storage sector, consistent with micrometeorite impact. Area has been automatically isolated. Habitat life support systems were not affected. A drone is analyzing the damage. Preliminary repair plan in 5 minutes. No panic call to Earth. No agonizing wait. The AI detected, isolated the risk, initiated diagnosis, and is already creating a solution. The crew's role isn't to react in panic, but to execute the repair plan the AI will present, with all materials and tools already listed. This is the future that AI enables. It's not a future where humans are replaced, but one where they are liberated, free from the burden of managing every small detail of survival. Free to do what we do best: explore, discover, create, and dream. AI becomes the colony's invisible backbone, the nervous system that keeps everything running, allowing the human mind to focus on the frontier ahead. AI takes care of the base so we can take care of the universe. This future is being built now, 250 miles above our heads. If you, like me, are fascinated by this mix of artificial intelligence and space exploration, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. We're always keeping an eye on these advances, and you won't want to miss what's coming. And now, I want to know your opinion. What other tasks do you think an AI should do on Mars? Leave your ideas in the comments. The best conversations always happen there. For decades, we thought the biggest challenge to becoming an interplanetary species was engineering, building bigger and faster rockets. But we were looking at the wrong problem. The real obstacle was always the communication barrier imposed by the speed of light itself. The question was never just getting to Mars, but living there. The solution, as so often in our history, wasn't breaking the rule, but finding a clever way to work around it. If we can't take Earth to Mars, then we need to take a mind there, an artificial mind, capable of thinking, learning, and reacting locally. The experiments with Space Llama and CIMON are much more than technology tests. They are the first steps in creating a new partnership between humans and machines, a partnership that will be essential for our survival away from home. When the first humans finally step on the red dust of Mars, they won't be alone. They won't depend on ghostly voices from a distant planet. They will have beside them a silent and thinking partner, born in Earth's circuits, trained in our planet's orbit, and ready to help us take our first real step in the cosmos as an autonomous species. The AI that today orbits Earth isn't just a tool. It's what will finally open the door to the stars.